In this video, we're diving into a critical topic for any retiree dreaming of sailing the world. The 4 boats you should never buy after 60, no matter how tempting they may seem. These aren't just bad investments. They're floating traps disguised as dream vessels. Boats that can turn a peaceful retirement into a stressful, dangerous, or even life-threatening experience at sea. Whether you're an experienced cruiser or just starting your sailing journey post-retirement, the wrong boat can put your health, safety, and long-held dream at serious risk. From outdated systems to unforgiving designs, these boats often demand more than they give, and we're here to break down exactly why they're wrong for older sailors. We'll explore real-world examples, talk about what to look for and what to avoid, and reveal how a poor boat choice has ended voyages before they even truly began. So before you buy, watch this. The right boat can bring you peace, joy, and freedom. The wrong one? Sleepless nights, endless repairs, and real danger offshore. Grab your notebook and settle in. This could be the most important sailing advice you hear all year. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss more essential tips on safety, seamanship, and smart sailing after 60. Let's set sail. For retirees over 60 dreaming of sailing around the world, choosing the right boat is a decision that can make or break the adventure. The open ocean demands a vessel that's not just seaworthy, but also forgiving, easy to handle, comfortable for long stretches, and reliable enough to minimize maintenance headaches in remote corners of the globe. Physical limitations, the need for comfort, and the realities of short-handed sailing amplify these requirements for older sailors. Unfortunately, not every boat marketed as a cruiser is up to the task. 4 popular sailboats, the Catalina 30, Hunter 31, Ericsson 32, and MacGregor 26, often catch the eye of aspiring circumnavigators due to their affordability and availability. But these boats, while charming for coastal jaunts, come with serious limitations that make them poor choices for retirees setting out to conquer the world's oceans. This article dives into the reasons why these 4 boats should be avoided for such an ambitious journey, detailing their design flaws, performance shortcomings, and maintenance burdens that could turn a dream voyage into a nightmare. The Catalina 30, a staple in marinas across the United States, has earned its reputation as a beloved coastal cruiser. With over 6,000 units built since its introduction in 1974, it's easy to see why it appeals to retirees. Its spacious interior, with a wide beam of nearly 11 feet, offers a surprising amount of living space for a 30-foot boat. The layout typically includes a V-berth, a saloon with a dinette, a functional galley, and a head, comforts that feel like a floating home for weekend getaways. Its affordability, often found on the used market for under $30,000, makes it tempting for retirees on a budget. The boat's fin keel and spade rudder provide decent maneuverability in protected waters, and its sail area of around 446 square feet gives it respectable performance in light to moderate winds. For day sails or short coastal trips, it's hard to beat the Catalina 30's value. But when you point its bow toward the horizon for a global circumnavigation, the cracks in its design begin to show. The Catalina 30 was never intended for blue water sailing. Its construction, while solid for its era, prioritizes cost over durability. The hull is fiberglass, but the deck often uses balsa or plywood cores, which are notorious for absorbing water over time. This leads to deck core rot, a problem that owners frequently report after years of exposure to rain or waves. Fixing a soft deck is no small task. It's time-consuming, expensive, and often requires professional help, which isn't ideal when you're anchored off a remote atoll. Another common issue is the Catalina smile, a separation at the keel-to-hull joint caused by stretched fiberglass, impact, or corroded bolts. This structural flaw can compromise the boat's integrity, especially in heavy seas where the keel takes a beating. Owners have also noted mast step compression fatigue, where the deck beneath the mast sags under load, potentially leading to rigging failures. These issues aren't just maintenance nuisances, they're safety concerns when you're thousands of miles from a shipyard. For retirees over 60, the Catalina 30's handling in rough conditions is another red flag. Its comfort ratio, a measure of how well a boat handles motion in a seaway, sits at 24.93. Decent for coastal cruising, but on the lower end for long ocean passages. In heavy seas, the boat's relatively light displacement of 2,200 pounds and its capsize screening formula of 2, right at the upper limit for offshore safety, mean it can be pushed around by big waves. One owner described the boat shuddering with every wave strike in 8-foot seas, a jarring experience that's exhausting for anyone, let alone older sailors who may struggle with balance or fatigue. The physical demands of handling the boat in such conditions, from wrestling with sails to climbing onto the deck for repairs, can be daunting. Add to that the need to constantly monitor and maintain systems prone to failure, and the Catalina 30 becomes a risky choice for a circumnavigation. Retirees need a boat that's forgiving, not one that demands constant vigilance and strength. The Hunter 31, produced in the 1980s, shares some of the Catalina's appeal, but falls short in similar ways. Designed as an affordable coastal cruiser, it boasts a modern look, with a reverse transom and high freeboard, giving it a spacious interior for its 31-foot length. The beam of nearly 11 feet provides ample room for a comfortable saloon, galley, and sleeping quarters, making it feel like a step up from smaller boats. Its B&R rig, with swept-back spreaders, allows for a large mainsail, giving it decent performance in light winds. On the used market, these boats often sell for $20,000 to $40,000, appealing to retirees looking for value. But like the Catalina, the Hunter 31 was built for weekend warriors, not world cruisers, and its design reflects that limitation. The Hunter 31's construction raises concerns for offshore sailing. Its fiberglass hull and deck are sturdy enough for coastal use, but owners frequently report issues with the mast step and compression post. The deck-stepped mast can cause delamination or cracking under heavy loads, a serious problem when you're facing gale-force winds far from land. Rudder issues are another common complaint, with some owners noting play in the bearings or outright failures after prolonged use. The boat's diesel engine, typically a 16-horsepower Yanmar, is underpowered for its 9,700-pound displacement, struggling to push through headwinds or currents. This lack of power can be a safety issue when maneuvering in tight spots or fighting strong seas. The bilge draining system also tends to trap water, leading to odors and potential corrosion, annoyances that become major headaches on a long voyage. In terms of seaworthiness, the Hunter 31 is even less suited for circumnavigation than the Catalina 30. Its capsize screening formula of 2.1 exceeds the recommended limit for ocean passages, indicating a higher risk of capsizing in extreme conditions. The comfort ratio of 22.4 suggests it's less stable in a seaway, leading to a rolly ride that can exacerbate seasickness, a real concern for retirees who may be more sensitive to motion. The B&R rig, while innovative, limits downwind performance because the swept spreaders prevent the mainsail from being fully eased, making long passages less efficient. Owners have noted the boat being pushed around in heavy seas, requiring constant attention at the helm. For retirees over 60, this level of physical and mental demand is a deal-breaker. The Hunter 31's maintenance needs, combined with its poor offshore performance, make it a boat to avoid for a global adventure. The Ericsson 32, particularly the 32-2 model from the late 1960s to 1970s, is a step up in terms of build quality and reputation. Designed by Bruce King, it was built to compete with other performance cruisers of its era, offering a blend of speed and seaworthiness that made it popular among serious sailors. Its 31.58-foot length and 9.67-foot beam provide a decent interior layout, with a V-berth saloon and functional galley. The boat's displacement of 8,800 pounds and ballast of 4,000 pounds give it a solid feel, and its capsize screening formula of 1.88 is within the safe range for offshore sailing. With a comfort ratio of 25.20, it's more stable in a seaway than the Catalina or Hunter, and its sail area of 452 square feet offers good performance. On the used market, these boats can be found for $25,000 to $50,000, making them a viable option for retirees. But despite its strengths, the Ericsson 32 has limitations that make it less than ideal for a circumnavigation. The Ericsson 32's age, often over 40 years for the 32-2 model, means it's prone to maintenance issues that can challenge retirees. Soft decks around hatches and the Samson post are a frequent problem, caused by water seeping into the plywood core. This requires extensive repairs, often involving cutting out and replacing sections of the deck, a task that's both costly and labor-intensive. Mast compression issues, particularly in deck-stepped models, can lead to cracking or sagging, compromising the rigging's integrity. Owners have reported hull flexing in heavy seas, with trim popping off or bulkheads shifting under load. Rudder bearings and chainplate leaks are other concerns, with the latter potentially causing bulkhead rot if not addressed. These issues aren't insurmountable, but they demand regular inspections and repairs, which can be exhausting for older sailors, especially in remote locations where parts and expertise are scarce. While the Ericsson 32 is more seaworthy than the Catalina 30 or Hunter 31, it still requires significant upgrades for a global voyage. Its comfort ratio, while better, doesn't match the stability of true blue water boats, and hull flexing in rough conditions can be unsettling. The boat's handling is generally good, but addressing maintenance issues like soft decks or chainplate leaks often requires climbing into tight spaces or hauling heavy equipment, tasks that may be physically taxing for retirees over 60. The Ericsson's age also means its systems, from electrical to plumbing, may need overhauls to meet modern standards for long-term cruising. For retirees seeking a low-stress, reliable vessel, the Ericsson 32's potential maintenance burden and the effort required to bring it up to blue water standards make it a risky choice for circumnavigation. The MacGregor 26 stands out as the least suitable of the four for a world cruising adventure. Produced from the 1980s to 2010s in various models, it's a hybrid sailboat and powerboat designed for trailering and day sailing. Its 25.82-foot length and 7.83-foot beam make it compact, and its light displacement of 2,250 pounds, dry with water ballast, allows it to be towed behind a standard vehicle. The water ballast system, which adds 1,500 pounds when filled, keeps the boat light for trailering, but compromises its sailing performance. With a small sail area of around 260 square feet and an outboard engine up to 50 horsepower, it's more of a power sailor than a true sailboat. Priced as low as $10,000 to $20,000 on the used market, it's an attractive option for budget-conscious retirees looking for versatility. But for circumnavigation, the MacGregor 26 is a non-starter. The MacGregor 26's design prioritizes portability over seaworthiness, making it wholly unsuitable for offshore sailing. Its ultralight construction, with a thin fiberglass hull and plywood deck core, is prone to flexing and water absorption. Many deck fittings lack proper 870 backing plates, compromising their strength under load. The water ballast system, while innovative, creates instability in rough seas because the water can slosh, affecting the boat's balance. Owners describe the boat as tender, preferring light winds under 15 knots with reduced sail. In heavy conditions, it's simply not built to cope with a high capsize risk due to its light displacement and narrow beam. One owner recounted a near disaster in moderate seas where the boat felt uncontrollable, highlighting its limitations. For retirees over 60, the MacGregor's poor sailing performance and lack of stability make it a dangerous choice for anything beyond protected waters. Comfort is another major drawback. The MacGregor 26's small size and minimalist interior, often just a basic V-berth, small galley and head, aren't designed for long-term living. There's little storage for provisions, and the lack of insulation makes it uncomfortable in extreme weather. Handling the boat requires significant effort, from raising and lowering the mast to managing the ballast system, tasks that can be physically demanding for older sailors. The reliance on an outboard engine, while powerful for its size, adds complexity, as it must be maintained and protected from corrosion in salt water. The MacGregor's design compromises make it clear it's a trailerable day sailor, not a vessel for crossing oceans. Retirees dreaming of circumnavigation need a boat that inspires confidence, not one that's a liability in anything but calm conditions. Beyond the specific issues with each boat, there's a broader concern for retirees over 60, the physical and mental demands of a global voyage. Circumnavigation isn't just about the boat, it's about the sailor's ability to manage it over months or years. Older sailors may face challenges like reduced strength, slower reaction times, or chronic health conditions, all of which amplify the importance of choosing a forgiving vessel. A boat that requires constant repairs, struggles in heavy seas, or demands athletic handling can turn a dream journey into a grueling ordeal. The Catalina 30, Hunter 31, Ericsson 32, and MacGregor 26, while fine for shorter trips, don't meet the threshold for safety, comfort, and ease required for such an undertaking. The Catalina 30's maintenance issues like deck rot and keel separation mean retirees could spend more time fixing the boat than sailing it. In remote ports, finding the skills or materials to address these problems can be nearly impossible, leading to delays or costly transport to a shipyard. The Hunter 31's poor offshore performance, particularly its tendency to be pushed around in heavy seas, demands constant attention at the helm, which can be exhausting over long passages. Its underpowered engine also limits its ability to escape dangerous conditions, a critical safety concern. The Ericsson 32, while more capable, still requires significant upgrades to be truly blue water ready, and its age-related issues add to the workload. For retirees who want to focus on the journey rather than the boat's upkeep, these demands are a major deterrent. The MacGregor 26 is the most glaring mismatch. Its light construction and water ballast system make it unsuitable for anything beyond coastal day trips. In the open ocean, where storms can arise unexpectedly, its instability could put retirees at serious risk. The boat's small size and lack of amenities also make it impractical for long-term living, with cramped quarters and limited storage creating daily frustrations. For older sailors, the physical effort required to manage the mast and ballast system adds unnecessary strain, and the reliance on an outboard engine introduces reliability concerns in harsh saltwater environments. What should retirees over 60 look for instead? A true blue water boat, designed for long-distance offshore sailing, is the answer. These vessels typically have heavier displacement, lower capsize screening formulas, well below 2.0, and higher comfort ratios, above 25, ideally closer to 30 or more. They're built with robust hulls, reinforced fittings, and systems designed for minimal maintenance. Features like a cutter rig or roller furling sails make handling easier for short-handed crews. And modern amenities, think reliable autopilots, solar panels and spacious galleys, enhance comfort for long-term living. Boats like the Pacific Seacraft 34, Contessa 32, or even larger models like the Hallberg Rasse 42 are often recommended for their proven track records in circumnavigations. These boats, while more expensive, often $50,000 to $150,000 on the used market, offer the reliability and comfort retirees need to focus on the adventure, not the vessel's shortcomings. The allure of the Catalina 30, Hunter 31, Ericsson 32, and MacGregor 26 lies in their affordability and familiarity. They're boats you'll see in every marina, with active owner communities and plenty of used models available. But affordability comes at a cost when you're planning to sail around the world. These boats were designed for specific purposes: coastal cruising, weekend getaways or trailering, not the relentless demands of ocean passages. For retirees over 60, the risks of choosing a boat with known structural issues, poor offshore performance, or high maintenance needs outweigh the initial savings. A global voyage requires a vessel that can handle storms, provide a comfortable home, and require minimal upkeep, allowing sailors to focus on the beauty of the journey. Imagine being halfway across the Pacific with waves crashing over the bow and the nearest land 1,000 miles away. In that moment, you want a boat that feels like an extension of your will, not a liability that's fighting you every step of the way. The Catalina 30 might be shaking with every wave, its deck creaking under the strain. The Hunter 31 could be rolling uncomfortably, its underpowered engines struggling against the current. The Ericsson 32 might hold its own, but require you to crawl into a locker to fix a leak at the worst possible time. And the MacGregor 26? It simply shouldn't be there at all. Its light frame no match for the ocean's fury. Retirees deserve better. A boat that lets them chase their dreams with confidence, not one that turns every passage into a test of endurance. Choosing the right boat is about more than specifications. It's about peace of mind. Retirees over 60 have earned the right to sail the world on their terms, with a vessel that supports their adventure rather than hinders it. The Catalina 30, Hunter 31, Ericsson 32, and MacGregor 26, for all their charms, fall short of that standard. Their design flaws, maintenance demands, and performance limitations make them boats to avoid for a circumnavigation. Instead, look to proven blue water cruisers that prioritize safety, comfort, and ease of handling. The ocean is vast, unpredictable, and breathtakingly beautiful. Choose a boat that lets you embrace it fully without looking back.